Hello, and welcome to another episode of Accessible Airwaves.
This program is dedicated
to the education and exploration of disabled life,
giving voice to the life and experience of people with disabilities.
We cover a wide array of issues and disabilities.
We are people who discuss issues we are passionate about
And topics we are interested in.
We show how disability is in the mind of the beholder.
I'm Adam, your host for this episode. Today, John is interviewing David Kron. He is the Executive Director of the Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba. John talks with him over Zoom about the association and how they support people with disabilities.
Hello, David, and welcome to the show. How are you today?
I am well. Thanks for having me, John.
Welcome. We have some questions to ask. So let's get on with it, shall we?
All right.
Can you tell us a bit about the history of the Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba?
Sure. So just as context, my name is David Kron, and I'm the Executive Director of the Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba. And the association was started in the late 50s as a parents group, part of SMD, Society of Manitobans with Disabilities. So it was just a bunch of parents that got together that were looking for a better outcome for their kids way back in the day. In 1974, the association became made its own corporation and got its charity license. And so that's when we actually started business under the CP association. So we've continued since then. For the last 34 years, our major fundraiser has been a stationary bike race. So where we get either 7 or 14 riders all riding for 25 minutes each. And we do that in Winnipeg, and we also do a smaller version of that in Brandon, another city in Winnipeg. So that brings us the majority of our money. We're a pretty small organization. We have 2.5 staff, and that's most of the time it's just been one person, myself, or my predecessor, Laura, who was in the job for 28 years. I've been in the executive director since 2012.
Huh. You've been the director for about 11 years. Okay.
Yeah.
How did the association come to be, and who are the founders?
So like I said, it's a bunch of family parents that got together and saw the need to pull together resources and fundraise and spread awareness about cerebral palsy in Manitoba. We raise money to give out for equipment grants because it's very expensive to do that. And it really was a grassroots family-driven model. And I would say we approximately 350 active members on our membership list, and the vast majority are still those families that started us way back in the day.
Nice. How did you personally get involved with the Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba, David?
Sure. So my history goes back a little longer than the 11 years since I've been executive director. Back in 1991, I graduated university, and when I was looking for a job, my job coach said, you need to get some volunteer experience. So in 1992, I joined the board of the CP Association as just a director. In 2000, I was the president from 2000 and 2001. Mm-hmm. And then I took a sabbatical from the board for a couple years. And then back in 2012, I applied for the executive position and got it. So that's kind of my history. I've been around for quite a while and been volunteering at our bike races since '91.
Yeah, that's interesting. Being there for that many years. We know that the Cerebral Palsy Association places great importance on advocacy through fundraising and bringing awareness to the experiences people with disabilities can face. Can you share some of the fundraising and campaigns that the association is most proud to be a part of?
Sure. So one of the things that really got us on the map was our cerebral palsy bike race, our big one in Winnipeg. Last year we raised little over $230,000 at it. Yeah, we've been doing this for quite a while. The branded bike race raised about $42,000. And like I said, that's what keeps us in business going. Before that, we did carnations. We sold carnations. We had car washes. You name it, we did it as far as fundraising. We also spent time writing grants. We've hired the first employee, our first executive director, and our first program and membership director from a grant from the Winnipeg Foundation way back in 1989. So that's really what kind of gave us the seed money to get established and to build a presence in Manitoba. Advocacy is turning out to be more and more what I do and what the association does. We spend a lot of time advocating to government, to agencies, to anybody who will listen, the need that our members with cerebral palsy have, and or anybody with a disability has. All of us are stronger than one of us, so we need to lift all boats, as they say, with a rising tide. So that is something that we're doing ongoing, and we do it very well.
Yeah. You just raised a lot for the bike races.
Yeah, well, we don't get any government money, and we don't ask for it, but we have to raise money in order to stay independent and strong. So, it's all those donors and volunteers over the 34 years that the bike race has been going on that allows the CP Association to remain as strong as it has been.
Okay. How did Locked Out of Life come together?
The Locked Out of Life campaign was a grassroots movement. It was started in 2015, Joelle, a lawyer from the Public Interest Law Center, called me up and explained to me that she was undertaking a human rights complaint against the government of Manitoba on behalf of two of our members, Amelia and Tyson. Now, when in Manitoba, I don't know about other provinces, when you hit 18 or 21, depending on whether you have an intellectual disability or not, all your services kind of vanish or disappear, or it's very hard to find them. So the crux of the Locked Out of Life campaign was to support the human rights complaint. So the whole idea was these two young adults were locked out of their opportunities that they needed to have going forward. As kids, they had a whole suite of services available to them. PT, OT, speech. They had EAs to assist them in their daily living. They had respite, home care, all these different things. And when they hit 18, they graduated out of the children's disability services, and there was no real program for adults. So the Locked Out of Life showed and was very successful in showing the gaps in service that adults face in Manitoba with disabilities.
Looks like a true grassroots movement.
Yeah, it truly was. So we initiated an ad agency actually to come up with the campaign. Up House was the name of it. And they came up with the concept. And they said, Tyson and Amelia were locked out of their life. And we literally put Tyson in jail and told his story on all the things he couldn't do because he didn't have the supports in the community to do them. So it went very viral as social media, and it really moved the human rights case along the way. You have to have the legal case to do it, but you also need to have the public support behind it also.
Oh, yeah. So they will have the public support.
Yeah, it's you got to show up at the hearings. You got to show up at all those things, saying it isn't just Amelia and Tyson's issue. It's a systemic issue for all adults with disabilities in Manitoba, that they don't have the services that they had when they were children, and they don't have the services so that they can have a full and meaningful life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Disability Matters Vote seems like a very powerful and important campaign. What are some of the priority issues the members work to advocate for?
Okay, so I'm on the steering committee of Disability Matters Votes. I'm also on the steering committee for Barrier Free Manitoba. And Barrier Free Manitoba is an initiative to make Manitoba truly accessible. The Accessibility for Manitobans Act was passed in December of 2013. And the steering committee members, we really want the full and meaningful implementation of the act. DM Vote really was our way to activate our call to action for Barrier Free in the AMA. So it started in 2016. I wasn't part of the steering committee at that point. But in reality, there comes down to in Manitoba about 20 to 25 ridings that have a very small range of votes. So if you can advocate and make sure that Disability Matters, disability priorities are part of the political campaigns, you can actually have a vote and a voice across all Manitobans and all political parties. So in 2019, I was one of the spokespeople for DM Votes. And just as an example, at our kickoff, we had 1,200 people out at our opening rally to show the politicians that we matter. In Manitoba, there's 175,000 people that identify themselves with a disability. So we're not just a small subset of Manitoba. We're quite a large population group in Manitoba. So that's why it's important. If we don't speak out on our behalf and speak out with our campaign and our priorities, nobody else is going to do it for us. Right now, we've got, in 2019, we had 5 priority issues. Having a barrier-free Manitoba, the full implementation of the AMA, dignified or fair wages for personal direct support workers that take care of individuals with disabilities. They're part of the most underpaid sector in Manitoba. A dignified income, employment supports, access to services were the 5 priorities. In 2023, DM Votes is getting ready for the new election that's supposed to happen on October 3rd, 2023. And right now we're looking and we're consulting with the community to find out what the new 5 priorities should be for DM Votes. So we really are a grassroots campaign that really needs to get going and speak up and be the voice of all Manitobans with disabilities when it comes to provincial elections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did that answer your question? I think it did.
Yes.
Okay, good.
To add to the list of important work the CPA is a part of, the Integrated Adult Services Pilot Project is in the works now. We would love it if you could talk a bit about this project and some of the areas they are creating change in.
Sure. So the IAS Integrated Adult Services Pilot Project is a direct result of the human rights complaint that Amelia and Tyson did, and also out of the Locked Out of Life campaign. So the government and the lawyers came up with this solution. So Amelia and Tyson, as part of the complaints, and myself as one of the members as representing the community, they came up with this pilot project. And the whole idea behind it is to change the way government document and change the document the gaps that exist in the adult services, so that we have a document after the 30-month project to show government where the gaps are in services for adults, but also to change the mindset of government, to change it from trying to fit the person with a disability into the government square box and trying to get the government to do a person-centered planning and person-centered supports and services within Manitoba. So this pilot project is to see if that is doable and whether it could work within existing government departments and services. So it's just getting underway now. We have our 30 participants. We have hired the person that's going to evaluate and write the report. We've hired the St. Amant Research Center to do research for the steering committee, and I am the chair of the steering committee for the IAS pilot project. So, it's going to be a bit of a slog. It's research, but we're going to have reviewed evidence-based research to prove that there are serious gaps in services when it comes to adults in Manitoba.
Interesting. We heard you will be having the 34th annual Winnipeg Bike Race this year. Can you tell us more about this event and how people can get involved?
Sure. So, like I said in our history, this is our major fundraiser for the year. It is on, well, I'll start. We have two actually. In Brandon, it's our 30th anniversary for the Brandon bike race, and it's on April 22nd at the Keystone Center. And you can go to our website, cerebralpalsy.mb.ca. Just go to CP Association of Manitoba. Click on the bike race. There's a link for Winnipeg. There's a link for Westman. In Winnipeg, right now we have 34 teams, and we're getting ready to go. It's held on May 13th at Shaw Park, the home of the Gold Eyes, our local baseball team. After the pandemic, we moved it from March to May, and we moved it from indoors to an outdoor event. So it is covered. It's under the concourse of the ballpark. And it's a wonderful event. Hopefully last year we did like I said, over $200,000, closer to $220,000. And I'm hoping this year we blow that out of the water, because we're trying to recover from the pandemic, and we want to grow our services. So you have either riders of 14 or 7, teams of 14 or 7. You can sign up to be a spare tire, as we call it. So if you don't want to organize a team, you can just sign up as a rider, and we'll stick you on a team. There's always people that are missing 1 or 2 riders at the day of. We're also still looking for sponsorship. Canada Life has been our longtime sponsor since we began. And we have a whole suite of sponsors, both in Winnipeg and in Brandon, that support us and that help pay the bills for the association and for the bike race. It's a real fun time. And in 2024, the CP Association is turning 50. So we plan to have big celebrations then. And we also plan to, our bike race in Winnipeg's turning 35. So we plan to have all sorts of different fun events for that also.
Yeah. So Canada Life has been the sponsor for
since the beginning. Yep. For 34 years, they've been our presenting sponsor, our headline sponsor. So, and we've had other sponsors that have been along for most of the time too. Like, I won't get into everyone because I'll forget one and then I'll feel bad, but they're all very important to us. The ones that have come, the ones that have gone, we couldn't have done it without them. And all of us make our association stronger.
Yeah. Your website mentions that you provide various scholarships and grants that support accessibility. Can you share more about that with us? How can a person apply for these grants?
Okay. So if you go to our website, you go on to programs, you click on scholarships, you have to call the office and I'll send you out the scholarship form. That we only take it twice a year. That's October 15th and May 15th. Those are our two deadlines for scholarships. We give up to $2,000 for post-secondary education to help support our members go to school. You can apply every year. We've got some members that are getting their PhDs and masters, and we've helped them out since they went for their bachelors of arts. So we're here for the long term. Like I said, we give them scholarships to help pay for tuition and books. It's as easy as filling out, I think it's like an 8-page thing. And it basically says, who are you? How are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Where are you doing it? I mean, we don't I got to read all these things. So I try to keep it as short as possible. As far as equipment grants, that's one of the major things that we do. In 2019, our grants budget was over $100,000. It has scaled back now more to like around $70,000 just because our fundraising is lower than it was. But we give out equipment grants that we like to pay for the things that we know government's never going to pay for, whether that be a custom-made 3-wheel bike or whether it be an iPad to play games or communicate on, or anything that the member needs to make their life just a little bit easier. When I joined the board, I told them, or when I joined this position, I told the board, I want to change people's lives by 10%. I thought that was a good goal in order to help them get into the community and have really good outcomes and really good successes. So we try to do those little things that mean everything. And you just go to our website and you can download the application and just send it in as a letter. Our year goes from September 1 to May 31st as far as grants go. We do kind of look at it at a case-by-case basis, and we also look at how much money is left in our budget too. So that's something what we try to make it really good for all of our members.
That's great to hear. How can people become members of the Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba?
They just need to go to our website. There's a membership piece there. If they don't want to do it via the internet, they could just call the office and I could send them out a membership form. It's only $10. And if that's a barrier, then I could certainly, waive that. I don't want the $10 to be a barrier for being a member. All of us, even when I do advocacy, when I talk to government, the more people I get as members, the bigger the voice I have. So even if you never want any services from the CP Association, I do encourage you to join our mailing list and our membership list, just so that you can be part of the voice of individuals with cerebral palsy.
Okay. So, is there anything else you'd like to add today or we missed in this interview?
Sure. Well, there's a few things. The other initiative that the CP Association is undertaking is a housing initiative called Cohabit. And you can go to cohabit.ca. And it's still in the planning and the dreaming phase. We haven't got shovels in the ground or huge commitments from government. But housing in Manitoba and Winnipeg is a real problem. So finding accessible, affordable housing, the stock in Winnipeg is some of the oldest housing stock in all of Canada. So we're working to build 100 units, but 120 members. And it's going to be more pan disability than just CP. But we want to fill all these units, and we want the individuals to be a villager. And we want to have services to go with it. And we need to work with government to pool those services so that people can have care in their space that they need it when they need it. And they can live together so that you have a community. So we're gonna try and make it the best, funkiest place to live. We're gonna try and put in a bar, and we're gonna have a chef, so everybody gets together for a meal together if they want. So they're not, sitting independently, quietly in their room. Or if they want a quiet evening in their room, they can take their food and back to them. We're gonna have all different types of services in Cohabit. So that's another big initiative that we're doing. We're also, I'm on a bunch of different committees just working on inclusion in education, working on the Children's Coalition I'm the chair of, working on better children's services, and fighting to make sure that the funding is there so that when your child needs it, or if you're an adult, it's there in a timely manner. There's nothing worse than having a 2-year wait for services that you need right now. I think that's about it. We definitely punch above our weight, and I want to thank the Cohabit team, Margie and Shelley, and Susanna, my marketing and communications manager, and Taryn, my social media star. So it's all of us are stronger than one of us, and we try to do the best we can to help anybody with disabilities, but more so folks with cerebral palsy in Manitoba.
So yes, that's all for the interview.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, David Kron, for being a part of the show today.
Well, thank you. Thank you, John. And thank you to everybody at the Resource Center in Calgary.
That was John talking to David Kron, the Executive Director of the Cerebral Palsy Association of Manitoba. They talked about how the association supports people with disabilities. You have been listening to Accessible Airwaves on CJSW 90.9 FM. If you missed any of our episodes, you can go to cjsw.com or any podcast apps.